What's up, guys? John from Heavyset Knife Company here. We are going to finally chat while I have a stogie. It's starting to really crash thunderstorm out here in central PA, and it's just hot, so I got the fan on. Apologize for the fan noise. I need to get a new microphone set up. I had a Rode one, and if I could tell you where it went, it's probably in the same place where those little sock gnomes take my left socks all the time. So, getting that out of the way, I want to thank one of my dad's late buddies, Mariano Gonzalez. I'm using his full name online because he passed away and he won't care. But he was a Cuban guy that had an affinity for good cigars, and he turned me on when I was younger to the line of A Fuente Gran Reserva. This is the green tip. I promise you guys, show that label, take a screenshot of that label, show it to your local cigar hut. They probably got them, and they are fantastic. Now, usually with a really good cigar, I will not use a torch. But we're going to have a cigar, talk about Blade Show, tell you what I got laid out on that table over there. Probably have pan down towards the table when I'm showing you. I'm telling you guys. Every time I light one, I think it's not going to taste as good because I'm hot, or because it's a Thursday and not a Saturday without a beer, or whatever the situation is. And every time, it's one of those cigars that's so good, you could be starving or what's that called? Dehydrated in the desert and still smoke one, and it would be enjoyable. So first up, accompanying my main model, the Hunter, this is the 4-inch Hunter. On the next drop, there's going to be some Hunter XLs. This is just one that's not even completed yet because I was just shaping the handle a little bit with half the hardware in there. So the Hunter XL is a 5-inch blade instead of 4. I got one in Magna Cut, one in Nitro V, and I'm probably going to do one of each in each steel again. So I'll do like 4 total XLs. They're the 5-inch version. So you got the 4-inch with 2 hardware holes, the 5-inch with 3. And it's got an extra inch on the blade. Then I got one of my new designs. It's got a very Survive-esque handle to it, as far as Survive used to do this thing, and a lot of guys do it. It's not a Survive thing, but they had a really comfortable handle on most of their knives because he actually raised the ass end of the handle a little bit to really go into your palm nicely. So this is going to be one of my 4-inch knife prototypes. This one specifically, on each drop, I'm going to try to put a prototype on there. Just a one-off. I think it's a really cool thing to do. So that's going to be on there. And then some of the EDC 4s. This one is really rough ground. This is just a one for me to play with because I made one for Peterbilt Knife Guy in the same configuration. And when I make one for someone specific, I usually make 2 of them just in case it goes wrong, in which the grind got a little funny. So this one is in Nitro V, and it is going to be my tester for the EDC 4. Really neutral, comfortable handle. Just so comfortable. Sits right in your hand. Nice drop point configuration. Very basic knife. Very basic utility knife. So now that I got my ruthless plug out of the way, I want to tell you guys about Blade Show to the best of my ability. And I went down to Blade Show with Jacob Peterson from Exodus Knife and Tool. And my 2 favorite knives, one in each vehicle, one in the truck, one in the car, is the first knife I ever got from Jacob, which is the low vis coating with natural micarta. Have one of his beads on there, and the green kydex. Just a fantastic knife. I literally keep this right in my cup holder because I took the Ulti clip off of it to use on the Adventure Craft. and lost it. Oh no, actually, I didn't lose it. That's where it is. It's on this Michael Spanger's inside the pocket leather sheath, which is on this A2 version of the Jackalope. So I lean towards the Jackalope more than I do the Adventure Craft, just because I'm a pretty hard guy on things, and I really like the extra meat. But I like how you can interchange them. I love knives that are milled for that reason, because you could just slip swap the sheaths, whatever you want to do. But yeah, so make a long story short, thank you, Jacob, very much for the experience of Knife Show. And guys, a lot of you are going to say that I went with Jacob and worked his stand to be able to get in on buying knives before the early birds came in. You can ask anyone in that arena, including Jacob. I did not actually, the only thing I rushed over to buy is over on the table, and it's a Les George folder. I did not get to his table till about 10:35, about 5 minutes after, or 10:05, about 5 minutes after the early birds were allowed in. So, yeah, I did not do any conniving or early purchasing. I told Jacob several times that I felt weird about doing that, so I'm going to wait until right when the early birds start coming in the door so they have time to get to the tables as I do. I did not buy anything to resell. Some guys at their own booths were telling me to buy their knives to resell them, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus because I do not believe in putting negative content out, despite how much I want to sometimes. I try not to do that anymore, and I never really did, other than bitching about Benchmade a little bit. I wanted to say that I did not buy anything to resell because I don't believe in that. And I believe that drives up the worth of knives that aren't worth the money. There are knives that I really enjoy. I just got a special item. For me, it's a special item that I've always wanted in my collection because I love Spyderco knives. Has earned their place in the knife community 1,000 times over. Spyderco Knives has pushed the envelope with different heat treats and different steels and trying things, and Rex 121 and Vanax and all these things that they were leading the charge on. And I respect Spyderco, whatever you want to say about them being USA made and not having things USA made like this. This knife exactly is why I do not buy to resell and join that fad. Because now, do I sell some stuff? Yeah, I do. I mean, there's some things that I get that I don't love, and I end up selling them. But I don't sell them for more than I paid. This is a knife that comes with a wire pocket clip, a G10 backspacer. It's got titanium handle scales, M390 blade, beautiful satin finish, fantastic action for washers. And it's worth probably about $330 compared to their other prices, and it's about $450 because they were so rare. People were buying them and reselling them, and it caused other places to jack the price up because they said, well, you see it on eBay going for $500-600 a piece, so let's sell it for more because it's more rare. And that, so on and so forth, the game and merry-go-round goes around. I also want to shout out my really cool piston head ashtray. This was actually an ashtray from Flum Contracting that a girl that was a good friend of mine gave me. It was her old man's. So I got a cool ashtray too. All right, now I'm going to shut up. We're going to stop rambling, and we are going to talk about Blade Show knives. Hey, Knife Brothers, here we go. So we got Jacob Peterson out of the way. God bless Jacob Peterson and Exodus Knife and Tool. Okay. First, we're going to talk about knives. A knife I would have got at Blade Show had I not received it right beforehand. The day I got to the airport to fly down, this knife arrived in the mail. And this is an holy crap. Guys, I told you, it's really hot today. This is a Reef Knives Circadian in the new layout of Kydex. Fantastic Kydex. Can't even force a rattle. Fantastic fit. So good. Nice click in. Excellent utility knife. This is the Circadian by Reef Knives in a Warncliffe style. Excellent, excellent cutter for draw cuts. Fantastic. It's a lot more thin behind the edge than the other one, I believe, anyway. I mean, it's, thick enough to be that fashion of very hard use by Reef, but definitely a great utility cutter. And guys, you cannot talk about Blade Show 2025 in Atlanta without talking about one of the most talked about knives down at Blade Show, which was the Vicon, Vicon. The Vicon by Reef Knives. It's one of their new models. This is one of the only belt satin unengraved they're all in Magna Cut. I thought they were in 3V, but this is in Magna Cut. This was a knife for my birthday. That was a prototype that Stu sent me. Stu is the man. He's been very good to my friends and I, and he has always supported us, and we have returned our support. And guys, the Kydex, the knife, overall, everything is fantastic. The new Kydex sheaths that Reef is coming out with are just better and better and better. Excellent fit and finish, zero rattle. Awesome clip point. Love the swedge, love the fuller. Really light jimping that just gives you fantastic grip. It almost is what a K-bar should be. What you wish a K-bar was. Super comfortable, kind of broomstick Reef style handle, but with that deep guard and a nice little pinch point in the back so you can come back and do some snap chops. Gotta love Reef Knives. The Vicon and the Circadian sheep's foot. Next up, this is the only knife that I rushed in to get right when they allowed the early birds in. You guys know me. You know I am an extreme fanboy for Les George's work. I think he is one of the greatest designers and makers of our time in the knife industry. And he has just been cranking out awesome stuff, including the Les George, what's the auto from ProTech Rock Eye. He had the ProTech Rock Eye, which was kind of like this, but an auto. He has so many good designs with so many good knife companies, and honestly, I am just a huge fan of his. This is the Titanium and Magna Cut Morph Milled VECP by Les George. So I rushed into Blade, and I was able to get that. So that was the only folder that I got at Blade Show besides this coming the day I got home. And this was the Spyderco Slige Bowie, which I really wanted in the collection. So those are the two folders surrounding Blade Show. Also, I wanted to take a minute to talk about a YouTuber. There's a couple YouTubers that I got to meet down there that I talk with all the time. Scab, Jason from Straight Edge, Reese from Well Regulated, Jacob Peterson. A lot of great guys. Had a ball with all of them. Gideon's Tactical was a YouTuber I got to meet down there and spend quite a bit of time with, talking to. Fantastic guy. Even cooler than than you'd hope he would be. Just very, very gracious, very relaxed guy, very easy to talk to, willing to stop and shoot the shit with you as long as you'd like to talk to him. A really great guy. But one of the guys that I really enjoyed watching was Zach in the Wild, and he does a lot of big idea design content, kind of just like Best Damn EDC does. And this was a very, very rare sprint run of Carry Commission, big idea design, collaborative pens, EDC pens, titanium pens, with the topographic pocket clip. And I asked Zach if I could borrow a pen because he was at the Boker booth right next to me and Jacob at the Exodus booth. and he let me borrow this thing, and we got to talking over the weekend that I was down at Blade Show, and just had such a good time chatting that he came over to me before we ended on Sunday and just said, "Hey man, I want you to have this. It's kind of special to me, and I appreciate the kind words and getting to know you down at Blade Show." So guys, Zach in the Wild, go check him out. He's got some knife designs with NAFs. He's friends with Ben and those guys, and he is just always on some cool adventures. And he is a fantastic guy. Okay, guys, so next up is a knife that I got right before Blade Show I'm sorry, right after Blade Show. I got it the day I got home, day after I got home. This is a knife from Ankura Knives. This is Josh Blankenship's work, but the design is the V44C in AEBL steel by none other than our own buddy Reese from Well Regulated. He had Josh from Ankura Knives do the tang, all the tang work, and then the handles were milled by Lucas Carroll Custom Scales. So you guys know that Lucas Carroll Custom Scales are really solid guys. They actually bought one of my knives during the drop, which I appreciated. They're just fantastic guys. And their milling is always really well done and really, really comfortable. And this is just a really cool knife that Josh from Ankura made for our buddy Reese at Well Regulated. So pretty cool knife. I think they're going to be doing another run at some point of the V44Cs. So I wanted to add that. If he said if he knew I was going to Blade, he would have brought it. So on to another fixed blade. I was able to get while I was down at Blade Show. I hear a bell dinging. I think it's my neighbor's dog, maybe the collar. That's weird. Maybe I'm hearing stuff, guys. So from the TKL booth, it was probably the last day. I think it was Sunday. My buddy and I, oh, cool. I never stuck my hand in there. My buddy, Jack from Micron Knives, you're going to be seeing some awesome stuff out of those guys. They are Pennsylvania as well. Him and I were walking around checking out a couple last booths that I didn't get to check out, and I stumbled across TKL Knives. And there was a guy there with a great big orange beard. I can't remember his name, but he was a very, very cool guy and took the time to kind of walk over all their models with me that I was curious of. Because I said to Tim Kelly, I said, it's a shame that I don't get to handle more of your knives because I usually end up really liking them. I do. And I'll tell you guys, the Mercenary from TKL, that is one of the greatest field knives I ever had. I mean, just the sharpest edge I ever had, some of the most well-done 80 CRV2. This one, however, is the Bushman. This is one of their kind of quote-unquote more woods task-oriented fixed blades. It does have the same scalloping on the handle, but it's so strange because that doesn't bother my hand at all. It just feels like it'd be really good for some snap cuts, too. No lanyard hole. I guess you would just fish it through the last... TKL uses their proprietary screws there, which I think are cool. You could just fish it through that last one. I don't think it would really be in the way that much. Some knives do kind of make it in the way if you go through the tube, but I don't think this would be a problem. And this is the TKL Bushman. Another thing about TKL is their Kydex is always good. Super good. Just well fit. I really like their attachment stuff that they have for the belt clips. And this one is just a really nice pack knife and came with this really cool set of Band-Aids and a little tactical bag. So I really am going to do some carving and some feather sticking and some content with that when I get out in the woods. Probably towards the end of the summer, I'm going to be taking a few different trips because we've been in the shop so crazily making knives that I haven't had a lot of time to do stuff. So this is what I wanted to show you. That is my personal Hunter. It's just my bang around knife. And that is next to the Hunter XL. So I'll line up the guards. So you can see an extra 1/4 inch on the handle, extra inch on the blade, roughly on most of them. So the Hunter XL is just a 5-inch variant of the Hunter. So I had John from Badger Claw make some sheaths for the Hunter XLs. I'm super excited to roll those guys out. Next up, we're going to move on to TRC Knives. You guys know our brothers from Lithuania. So next up, guys, we got our brothers from Lithuania, TRC Knives. They are not only some of the coolest guys, they mean well, they speak well, they're solid guys, and they happen to make some of the coolest stuff ever. This is listed as a prototype. This is a non-DLC'd harpoon that Andreas, a lot of people say Andreas, but it's Andrius, so I'd say Andreas. His work is so well done. This is a extremely cool compound grind. It's got the flat grind and then the hollow grind and then the swedge meeting it, just in that beautiful flow. And it's got this step down handle that is so comfortable, so strangely comfortable. It's just wild, so comfortable in hand. And this beautiful handmade leather sheath straight from TRC, along with another leather sheath here. But this is the harpoon prototype that they sold to me for extremely cheap off of table price, kind of as a birthday present and a thank you for all the support and the years of buying their knives that I have done and will continue to do. So this one is in M398, which is a new steel for me. Let's clap it up. A new steel for me to test out and try. And I've heard a lot of people have had good results with it. So, alongside that, I had to get, honestly, Gideon's Tactical. I actually spoke to him about how funny this was at Blade Show. I have the satin finished LMAX variant of the Apocalypse, and after watching Gideon's Tactical's review, the apocalyptic finish on the Apocalypse is part of the reason I found TRC Knives. Cedric and Ada, who I was dying to see potentially at Blade Show. I was hoping he was going to make the trip. Cedric and Ada is from Australia. Oh, there's that storm rolling in back again. But Cedric and Ada's channel did the review on this back in the day when they did green micarta instead of black canvas. So this is the double black canvas with black DLC tubes with the apocalyptic finish, and it could not be more beautiful of a knife. Just hard use as ever. It's in LMAX, Udahome LMAX. Super comfortable choil. Just, this is the only knife with a choil where I love the choil and will use it like a madman. And it rides in this beautiful, beautiful TRC leather. So guys, those are my 2 TRC purchases for the next probably month or so. You guys know I have a big thing for TRC knives. So let's move on to Crely Blades. So now we got Crely Blades on the table. Gary Crely is a buddy of mine. He is from Pennsylvania as well, up towards Reading area. And he is a really good guy, very knowledgeable. He's been in the knife world for a long time. You guys might know Gary for his flagship model. And he's one of the first guys that was using MagnaCut. He's one of the first guys to have knives in Magna Max, which is the new MagnaCut, which we will see what happens with that. But this is one of the original Makos by Crely Blades, and it's in the original research smelt of MagnaCut steel, which is really cool. Camo G10, little pocket sheath. This one I've had for some time, but this is what I got down at Blade Show because I wanted to show him some support, and I wanted to check one of these out really bad. This is a little pocket carry minnow, the minnow by Crely Blades, and this one's in CPM MagnaCut. This one has one of the nastiest thin behind the edge slicer blades. Oh man, just ready to cut. And the interesting thing about these, you can go watch the video that Knife Center dropped, the discussion video with Gary, talking about how Gary made for the first time, I believe, as far as offering the file and stuff, because I believe Jacob Peterson was one of the first guys to do uh, uh, 3D printed handles on a knife. I'm not sure who the first one was, but Gary does them on this variant, this knife model called the Minnow. It's a nice 3-finger grip, but with that lanyard, it's actually very, very comfortable. It's definitely an awesome knife to use in different grabs like this. You know, if you were some guy working an interesting job where you needed a very specific small pocket carry knife, this is your go-to. They are sub $200 knives. They are fantastic. And I'm really excited to get to do some testing on it. But Gary also offers you the 3D CAD file that so you can take it if you have a 3D printer and make your own scales in whatever material color you want. So I think that's really cool, and I'm really happy I got to pick one of these up from Gary, straight from Gary at Blade Show. So guys, next up we have, sadly, the only thing that I got from him at Blade Show, which I told Jacob if it was up to me, I'd have left with probably almost every purchase I would have made would have been from this guy. Guys, I have the only reason I don't have a knife on the table from Redbeard Blades, by the way, before I get started here. Speaking of hand makers, he's from Georgia. Redbeard Blades, I got to meet him down there. He was our neighbor table. He was one of the nicest guys. Got to meet his folks were there with him. And guys, Redbeard Blades deserves. He's from Georgia. He deserves your respect as a maker and your follow on Instagram because he has some of the most amazing work. He's using pinned-in handle scales, some carbon coatings on 8670 and some other carbons, and he is fantastic. Fantastic. I have him right now making a Bowie style knife for me, large knife for me, that I'm going to need to talk to Michael Spangers about some custom leather for, but that's for another day and another video. Next up, we have Joe Fu Leather. I got this sheath from Joe Fu Leather. It's where everybody at Blade Show told me to go, and I'm glad that I did because it fits this knife very well. It's a little deep, but that's fine. Guys, this knife is very important to me. This is from Dry Creek Forge. Now, the problem with him is the only problem with him that I even found was his Instagram handle. Guys, it's not Dry Creek Forge. It's dry_creek_forge. So dry_creek_forge. I'll have all these guys tagged in the description. He is one of the most awesome freaking hand makers. His knives are so sharp and slicey. This is in CPM crew wear. It's an EDC sized 4-inch handle. Just awesome, awesome little knife that I got from him down there for like $275. Just a great price on a great little knife. You can just hold it in any configuration. It's going to be an excellent little cutter. And I really like the belly. The lack of belly, actually, like just that tip and the swedge, everything lines up perfect. But he had some of the greatest knives down there, and he's the one that made the Super Kook, the Super Kookery, that was designed by Jacob Peterson. So, guys, make sure you check out on Instagram Ross over at dry_creek_forge. You can see his logo kind of on there. Oh, I can't stand this phone. Dry Creek Forge. So next up, guys, the belle of the ball. One of the best, other than Jacob Peterson, obviously, because he put so much work into just the stand of his knife company. Guys, one of the belle of the ball situations here as far as stands that I took. You can ask anybody down there. I dragged everyone to Very Good Knife Company's stand, from Reese at Well Regulated to Scab from Choir Boys. You know, and they might say that I'm wrong here, but I remember doing this, excuse me, with about 5 of my buddies. including Jack from Micron Knives. Just saying, you got to see this dagger. Very Good Knife Company hand ground a 4, if it's a dagger, 1, 2, 3, 4 hollow grinds on this like 6-inch bladed dagger. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. So he had one of those stands, much like Dry Creek Forge, much like Redbeard Blades, where you just wanted to buy one of everything because everything on that table was so excellent. He had some coated versions. This is the Walkabout. This is a knife that I got from Gabe at from Gabe at Last Huntsman. And I'm so happy to have it. It's one of my favorite knock-around hard-use 80 CRV fixed blades. This is the Walkabout. He had some coated ones. I'm sure you'll see him on his site and Instagram and stuff. This is the Walkabout. Guys, I wish I would have brought him out. I have like 4 knives by this guy at Very Good Knife Company. Not that I got at Blade Show, though. I got all of Gabe's designs except for the new larger Eagle. I got the Adventure and Adventure Junior. I got a lot of stuff from Very Good Knife Company, but this was a newer knife that I don't have anything like. It's essentially a necker, and it was kind of a Blade Show special because in this thickness and this steel, I think it was kind of the only ones they were going to be doing or something like that. But it's actually a green Cerakoted, what's it called? The Cub in 80 CRV2. It's essentially just a paracord wrapped handle with an index finger groove, and it's just a nice handful, but it's so slicey. Guys, his edges and his behind the edge thicknesses for a hand maker are so dialed in. Like, let me see if I do have a piece of paper here. Like, I'm telling you, this thing has such a nasty edge on it. For a coated little, runt, for a coated knife, it just has the nastiest cutting power on it. And the only few boxes I've opened with it's just like a lightsaber. It's just got a lot of traction right on the top. Boom, just ready to go. I love this Necker style blade, and I thought it was really cool, so I had to grab one. It was like $100, I think, $110. But yeah, guys, I implore you, if you are not following Very Good Knife Company, if you don't have anything from him, definitely check him out. Jacob is a great guy, and him and his wife are just the salt of the earth people. I got to have a drink with them on Saturday and kind of shoot the shit and hang out, and man, they are just some very, very cool people, and they deserve all the knife world love that we got to give. So yeah, that's kind of everything surrounding Blade Show. I had an amazing time down there, guys. I got to meet guys like Gideon's Tactical and Outdoor 55 and Scab from Choir Boys and Jason from Straight Edge Knives and Reese from Well Regulated and Andreas from TRC Knives, Joe Flowers, Bushcraft Global. Got to meet the guys from Spyderco. Just some amazing people were down there. I did get to meet Josh Blankenship from Ankura. Stu from Reef Knives, my man with the plan. Ross from Dry Creek Forge. Guys, if you don't know personally Stu from Reef Knives, they deserve every ounce of the success that they have had, and I promise you, the Viking, it's going to blow you away. When you get one in hand, oh my God. I can't wait to do a test video. So another cool thing down there, and my ending statement, another cool thing down there is I was able to say hi to the wife of the owner of Waterjet Knives. And he had some pre-cut blanks, unheat treated, of AEBL. And I always wanted to mess around with some kitchen knife designs, but I never wanted to actually design one. So they had these. The rock on them is pretty decent. I really liked the way that they did the handles. They just have a nice little pinch point here, and I'm gonna thin them up a little bit and grind them out. So I just heat treated them this week. They're both in AEBL. One of them is a present for my mother, and the other one is actually going up on my next drop. So on the next drop, we'll have some Hunter XLs, we'll have some Hunters, we'll have some EDC 4s, we'll have some a kitchen knife, a kitchen knife on that drop. Guys, this is one of those times, and I'll lean you up to say this. Oh, now we're uneven here. Look at that. Unprofessional camera work, if I've ever seen it. Guys, I promise you, I am one of those guys that lives in a nice country town, and I'm in my barn, and I'm making knives with no air conditioning and a little box fan in the window. Happy as a clam, sweating it out in here because I love what I do. And this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. So when I was down at Blade Show, I spoke to Joe Flowers, Bushcraft Global. He was really interested in one of my hunters. And guys, I owe a very, 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 very special thank you to Choir Boys Cutlery, Scab, our buddy Scab. When I was down there, I had to have my knives driven home with Jack from Micron Knives, so I didn't have one of my hunters on me. Now, again, this is a banged up, reground, fixed version. It's the overall shape. It looks very similar to this, the regular, hunters. But Scab from Choir Boys had his hunter on him, and I was able to show it to a lot of influential people that really liked it, and that got me the chance to have my work shown even brighter. I mean, it's already on Peterbilt Knife Guy's channel, Scab's channel, Gabe's channel, soon to be Jacob Peterson's channel. I sent him a thank you box with some cigars in it and some knives in it. So I'm hoping that he enjoys them enough to post about them. I'm sure he will, hopefully. But make a long story short, thank you so much, Scab. That Sunday, it was just me and Scab. And we walked around and we showed my knife to the last few people that meant a lot to me to show them to. So thank you, Scab. Meeting you and getting to have a drink on Saturday night with you and Luke from Calculated Survival, formerly. Now he's with Cold Steel. And Reese, all these guys, Stu, Jack. We had a blast down there, guys, and it was really amazing. I even got to meet, I was in line. Not in line, but I was in a bunch of different lines trying to get through the secondary room, the smaller room, where Very Good Knives table was, and where Jacob's table from Very Good Knife Company, Jacob, where his table was. And I saw the beard and the glasses, and I was like, oh shit, Cannons and Cutlery is the name of the channel. You need to check him out. He's a great dude. Matt is his name, I believe. I was just talking to him on about the Sliz Bowie. Guys, there are those few friends you have, like bushcraft knives, serious bushcraft knives, I'll ask Jacob about. Combat knives, I'll ask Gabe about. Kind of any knife I'll ask Scab about. But when it comes to Spyderco stuff or custom clips, like I wanted to change that pocket clip out, you hit up Cannons and Cutlery. Matt, he's a good dude. But I hit him up about what pocket clip to get for this, so he gave me the rundown. And I will do a whole nother video on this knife here. Got to meet Tri-State EDC too. That was really cool. It was interesting because when I heard him talk, his voice didn't sound the same. It was really strange when you meet somebody in person and their voice sounds so different. It was very strange, but really nice guy. Oh, Spyderco, your edges are so disgusting. So yeah, I did get to talk to Tri-State EDC. He showed me the Tri-Stash and some other knives he had on him. But yeah, really cool guy. Just a really cool, really fun time down there. And guys, God's good. You follow one of your passions and you end up making something of it. And the first drop went very well. And guys, I promise you, we are rolling right into this second drop, heavy as hell. Heavy set knife, get it? Heavy as hell. Just there's just stuff everywhere. I just knives everywhere in different stages, and we are pushing and pushing, and I am putting that same level of crazy, focus and anal retentive, you know, what do you want to call it? That same level of focus and attentiveness to each knife individually. Um, and no, I do not skeletonize my handles on the Hunters or the EDCs because I like that weight. It just feels good. Now, I will be water jetting blanks in the future. Not yet, but I will be in the future. Right now, I marked my steel with blue machinist dye, and I cut my blanks out from scratch and do everything right here in the shop, start to finish. But the only thing I will be outsourcing for that is a huge waste of time right now is cutting my blanks. To cut all these blanks on a slow saw with lubricant and punch all my holes and, grind all my sharpening choils with a 1/4-inch wheel attachment and blah, blah, blah. Takes some time. So I will be eventually getting my blanks cut, but that's the only thing I'm going to outsource for. So, yeah. Thank God to everybody down in the knife community and everybody involving everything on this table. Thank you guys. And all the guys at TRC. We wish you guys were on this side of the border, but they are one of the only foreign companies that I just literally I look at them like they might as well be in my same state because they are such solid guys that make such solid knives, and they are just in my mind just about as premium gets. So, yep, that's everything that I got at Blade Show in and around it. Guys, make sure you check out Reef Knives, very good knife company. Les George and Defiant 7. Best folders I saw at all of Blade Show were from Defiant 7. They have a new Talos that's an aluminum body Magna Cut steel blade, and it's not a button auto. It's just a button lock manual. Fan freaking tastic, light, hard use, ready to go, epic. Very good knife company. TKL Knives. Of course, Exodus Knife and Tool and Michael Spangers, Ankura Knives and Reese from Well Regulated, TRC, Dry_Creek_Forge on Instagram, and Heavy Set Knife Company. My shrill of a plug. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys get out to Blade Show if you're thinking about it because it is a wonderful experience. So guys, have a great evening and a great Thursday and Friday. I'll post some videos from the shop this weekend, let you know where progress is on that next drop coming in 2 weeks.